Well, Justin, a bit of a chaotic lead up to this one, but was there ever a doubt in your mind that you were fighting on this card based on the opponent?
I think there was a small amount of time that I was a little bit doubtful that we would figure something out. But in my mind, I was still fighting. I had to stay in that mindset that, I was still going to war. March 8th. I really relied on my coach and my manager to figure it out. I told them, take the lead and don't even involve me in the conversation.
Obviously, fighting a guy on short notice and switching up your camp is a risk. You're coming off the back of the loss to Max. It's even a bigger risk for you, right? You want to hit the ground running. Did any part of that play into your mind about, like, you know what, maybe it would be better if I just stuck to the original opponent, we rebook it rather than just force this one through?
No, I think if I started to worry about the risks, then I would just retire. This is a very risky sport, and I love the intensity that it brings, and, I've been yearning to get back in there and feel that.
Yeah, there's been some comments you made recently that have caught a lot of attention about maybe sort of going back, not complete the whole way, but a little bit back towards the World Series of fighting style you used to have.
Yeah, I just think the aggressive mentality. I think I just watched the Max fight today for the first time, and I think I fought really well. It's just he was so great that fought really well that night. And but even if I go back to that guy, I'm still a much more refined athlete, in my skills. And I think with that aggressive style and my skills being, much more refined and much more accurate, that, that's a dangerous combination.
What makes you rewatch it today?
I just figured it was about time.
Nice. Respect. Have you rewatched the first fight with Fiziev yet?
Yeah, I watched it the day that we decided we were going to fight him.
What were your takeaways from that, and what differences do you think you may have to make to make it a bit of an easier job out for you that night?
Yeah, I think, I wasn't looking at the fight for information. I was just, more putting myself in that mindset and that arena, and I think if I try to rely on things from that fight, then, if things go 100%, 180 the other way, it would be detrimental. I think, my skills are ready. I think my preparation was fantastic. My cardio is definitely, I'm ready to push the pace. And, I think I still have to be careful with this guy. He's so powerful. He's a world-class athlete, world-class Muay Thai striker. He throws a lot of kicks. And, I think I found success punching off of his kicks. And I think that will be, something that I can use for the next fight.
So I wanted to go back to rewatching the Max one today. Obviously, the ending the way that it was, I can imagine some guys would think on their fight week, I don't want to see that and put that in my mind. What is it about you that makes you think?
Well, to be fair, I did stop it with 10 seconds left.
Okay.
I've seen that part plenty of times.
All right, and then what does a win here do for you? Obviously, I know you've taken this fight. You've done the UFC a favor by staying on the card. Can we get a title fight based off this?
I mean, as an athlete competing here, I have to think that. I hope that, but I have no idea. I have to go in there. I have to win. That's first and foremost. And, I'm always exciting, the most consistent guy that's ever stepped in there. So I think the way that I win and how my fights usually go, then I'll definitely be, a consideration for them.
Thanks a lot.
You've entered fights, rematches coming off where you won the first one, the Luis Palomino, you won both of them. You rematched Dustin, you were trying to, erase that first fight. Now you're doing this again with Fiziev. You want to, prove that you were a better man the whole time. So is there a different approach to a rematch coming off a win the first time and a loss the first time?
I guess there probably would be if it was like the immediate next fight. But, going through what I just went through, then, I'm very reinvigorated when it comes to, and I understand that this sport is so dangerous. Watching that fight, there's so many shots that were so close to putting him out, or are really, really putting some damage on him. So I just have to, trust in what we're doing, what my coach has, instilled into me over the last 14 years, and just go from there.
And Fiziev was in here, and I asked him this question because when Dan, before he got hurt, he's saying, it's almost a guarantee that me and Justin are going to go to the hospital after this fight just because of our fighting styles. Fiziev goes, God, I really do not want to go to the hospital again in Las Vegas. But he goes, the way me and Justin fight, we'll probably go to the hospital. So I'm curious if you have that same mentality, or you just hoping, you go in there, smoke this guy, and you don't have to go to the hospital.
I mean, ideally, any fight, you get a knockout in the first 10 seconds. That would be ideal. But I don't plan on going to the hospital. I'm just hoping that I'm alive and I can walk so I can golf with my dad and brother the next day. But I mean, I'm here to go to war. Whatever that entails, then so be it.
unrelated to your fight, but over the last couple of years, when we have these media days, there's been a handful of fighters that use your name as a descriptive term in terms of how they fight or how they want to fight. So they'll be like, "Oh, I'm the heavyweight Justin Gaethje. I'm the flyweight Justin Gaethje." I'm curious, do you hear those when people say that, and do you take that as a compliment of when fighters use Justin Gaethje as like a descriptive term of how they want to fight?
Yeah, I mean, I think no matter what field we're in, having the respect of your peers is something that does feel good, and I'm proud of that. I wish they wouldn't do that. There's a constant method to the madness when I'm in there. I've trained my body, my soul to do what I do for many, many years, and I think obviously I give max effort, and I know that they're expecting themselves to give max effort. And yeah, not just my peers that recognize my effort and consistency, but the company, the commentators. Yeah, so that's something I'm proud of.
And just last one for me. I watched, you did like a fan Q&A on your YouTube channel where you were answering questions, and a lot of them were around the phrase like, how do I get over being scared of fighting or getting into MMA or just getting punched in general? And the first few seemed to catch you off guard, like you had never thought about that before, but then after a while you started to kind of give advice. So I'm curious, like, do fans ask you that quite often? Like, how do you do what you do, or how do you get over being scared? Because it seems like some version of that question came up a lot.
Yeah, I think it's always going to be tough to answer for me because it's just so normal for me. It's the way that I've approached many things. I try to, there's so many, there's so little things that we can control. And my thoughts and emotions, how I feel, how things make me feel, how people make me feel, how circumstances make me feel or act is what I know I can control. As far as competing, I've loved to compete since I'm very competitive. And this is the most intense and exciting sport in the world. So I'm so happy to be here and be a part of this organization, and it's been a fun ride. I can't believe how fast it's gone. This will be my 38th trip into a ring, octagon, cage, whatever you want to call it, but every single one of them is special.
Justin, recently, the past week, footage has come back of immediately after the Max knockout, and you even tweeted about it and said it's a great reminder of what's at stake.
Yeah.
This might be silly, but do you think fans should see stuff like that just to see how dangerous the sport is?
Oh, I don't know. I'm glad I saw it. For what I saw, I was trying to get up and fight. It's just what I do. I choose fight instead of flight every single time, and that's what I expect from myself, to try and get up.
And I just wanted your thoughts on Ilia Topuria vacating the featherweight title and coming up to lightweight. Do you think he's built for lightweight?
Yeah, I think he's a fighter, especially with the confidence that he has right now with those wins over Max and Volkanovski. I think, confidence is the biggest factor when you step in there. You have to believe, in yourself first and foremost. And so, yeah, I think just made the most exciting weight class in this sport a little bit more exciting.
Do you obviously, if you go out there and finish Fiziev, there's a good chance that you get the title shot, but do you believe Ilia should get an automatic title shot against Islam?
I don't know. Haven't thought about it.
Awesome.
It doesn't matter. Again, that's one of the things I can't control, so I'm not going to put a lot of thought and energy into that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Justin right here. Justin, when Dan pulled out, there were a lot of fans that I'd say panic a little bit, like, oh man, we're not going to see Justin Gaethje next Saturday, et cetera, et cetera. This many years in the game, what does it mean to you that you still have that kind of love from the fan base, that they have that kind of reaction about not getting to see you compete?
Yeah, I mean, I've been a fan of this sport since 2002 and really since 92. My dad would put it on the TV, and I fell in love with it then. So I think it's, again, respect from your peers, respect from the people that pay to watch me fight. They're spending their hard-earned money to watch me, and I think, again, I'm the most consistent guy that's ever stepped in there. And I've been to so many UFC fights, live, because I'm such a big fan. And, I think 10, 15% of the time does everybody get a certain rush of emotions, because of an instance. And I think, people know that it's maybe 50% with me. So that's what people are there for. They're all there to turn into animals in the blink of an eye.
You've been very public about your love of golf. If you were going to do your dream celebrity golf tournament, what other celebrities or pros would you want to be a part of it?
Ooh, I mean, all of them. I mean, the Raiders team, you know, some of the Nuggets guys. Definitely have DC out there. Hopefully not on my team. But yeah, I mean, you know, there's so many world-class athletes I would love to have in there. I can't name any specifically right now.
Thank you.
Justin, over here to your right. You said on your social media a couple of days ago, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And I think that kind of sums up for a lot of people and why they love you and what you represent every time you set foot in the cage. I know you mentioned that there's not too many fights for you left, but was this what you envisioned when you first picked up the gloves, for people to know you and respect you for this fan-friendly, all-out style and to be a staple of the always entertaining lightweight division?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite parts, but it's, you know, when I started this journey, it's been and has been and was one fight at a time. You know, I never thought I would be here. I never thought people would want to ask me questions. I never thought I'd be able to touch people from across the world that don't speak the same language, but, you know, can really resonate with me. So that's special for me. I mean, I think, you know, human services is what I went to college for. I was going to do some type of social work. I'm not exactly what, but a lot of being in that profession is inspiring people to be better and do better. And so, again, the live by the sword, die by the sword, that's been my mindset, you know, in everything, in all walks of life, not just competing, but in treating people, you know, how they should be treated and respecting people. I think if you want to change the world, you have to cause ripples in your immediate circle. You know, we all try to reach and do too much, and don't focus on our immediate circle. I think, you know, you're a good neighbor. And I just, you know, want to, it's crazy that through violence I can inspire people and touch people, but it's a sport.
Yeah, and I know undisputed status is something that's always a goal for everybody, but are there any other things that you want to check off your list as a mixed martial artist?
No, I mean, I've already set the record for bonuses. I had 9 in my first 7 fights. I think that'll never be touched. I'm pretty proud of that one. As far as the rest would be to try to show people, you know, I think if I was if I win this fight and beat Makhachev, I think that would just be, you know, the icing on the cake for the legacy that I'm trying to create here. And I think that would be such an amazing story. And so that's what I'm trying to do.
Sure. And last one for me. Was it hard to save that time to watch back the Max fight all the way until now?
No, I mean, I'm actually glad. I thought I fought like shit, and turns out I didn't, you know. I fought pretty damn good. It's just so crazy. It's a game of less than inches, less than seconds. I mean, there's so many instances in that fight where could have gone either way. You know, he was so fast, very fast. I think my 4th round was my best round. That's when I fought a more aggressive style, and that's when I dropped him, and I think I won that round, you know, clearly. First round was crazy close. I think, you know, with my leg kicks, I was winning until, you know, the last 1 second. It's crazy. He smoked me last 1 second of the first round, last 1 second of the last round. It's a crazy sport.
Right here, Justin. Last 2 main events of the year ended in controversy with some eye pokes. In your last fight with Rafael, you did poke him in the 2nd round. He said that that kind of factored into his performance for the rest of the fight. He wasn't able to see. That's not really my question. I guess, how big of a problem do you think the eye poking is in this sport? And obviously it's not up to the UFC, it's up to the commissions, but do you have a solution? Do you think a point should be taken regardless of intent?
No. I don't know. It's a tough one. You know, I got poked in the eye versus Max twice. I'll never tell you that I lost that fight because of that. I just think that's not the mindset that you can have. I think if we were skilled enough to poke someone in the eye, we'd be skilled enough to punch him in the chin. You know, it's just a crazy circumstance that happens. You know, we're constantly judging distance. Again, it's less than seconds, less than inches. It's completely intuitive. And so naturally to defend yourself, you know, try to get your hands up. And that's mostly what's happening is just sometimes it goes in their eye socket.
UFC introduced some gloves that were supposed to maybe reduce the eye pokes. They went back to the old gloves. I'm not sure how often you got to train in them. Did you feel like those were maybe better to prevent eye pokes, or were you not a fan of them as well?
Yeah, I don't even know. I fought in them once, never trained in them. I've never trained in 4-ounce gloves. You know, we have 7-ounce Onyx gloves that I train in. sparring, hit pads in. But I think there's an answer. I just, you would have to put it on paper and have a lot of smart people sit around the table and, run through the pros and cons of different things. I don't think it was the eye pokes why they changed it. I think maybe enough people weren't getting knocked out or something because I don't know what the case was. I'm not sure I'm not sure what made the decision to go back. I don't think either one of them prevent. We fight in open finger gloves. Like there's no preventing eye pokes in here. At the end of the day, I think it's blatant fouls. Like hitting people, a lot of the Michael Chandler shit. Pretty much everything he does, immediate point taken away. Smoking people in the back of the head. There's things that you can do on purpose, and then there's eye pokes. Like I said, it's almost impossible to purposely poke someone in the eye. That's a very small target, and we're trying to hit each other in the head, and a lot of the times that's hard to do. So,
Thank you. Good luck.
Hello, sir. Rafa was here, and he said that yesterday you met in Apex, and he thanked you because he doesn't understand why did you take this fight. So, first of all, what was your conversation about, and did you have any doubts to fight him?
I love fighting. I got my ass knocked out last fight, and I'm dying to get back in there and get that back. At the end of the day, all these guys are very, very dangerous. And we went through our options. I, wanted Sarukian or Oliveira, but if I was them, I would never take the fight. And I do not blame them for that. Moicano piped up and then did not take the fight. That was my best option. And then it was just not fight. And I've been working so hard that that really wasn't an option for me. He just said thank you. I'm grateful for him too. He was halfway across, or probably more than halfway across the world, however big the world is. But and he took the fight. He came over here. So I applaud him for that. And I love to perform, and I'm ready to perform. So I wasn't, I was trying to make it happen.
Speaking about your last fight, I asked Rafa if your fight at Saturday night will go to the final seconds. Will he point his finger to the center of octagon and try to fight with you like Max did? If there will be such a situation, would you accept this challenge from him?
If you've ever seen me fight, you'll know I will accept that challenge every single time. When he pointed to the ground, I said yes and ran to the middle. So absolutely.
And the last one from me, Rafa says that he was quite surprised because in betting companies he's going as a favorite.
It's not something I can control. It's crazy. I'm 6-3 as an underdog, so I love being the underdog.
He
it
said
actually
the same.
Suits me better. I love when people count me out. Being a competitor, every single one of us that get to this level is probably a petty motherfucker in a way, because you don't come here, you don't push through the things that we push through, if you don't take things personal. Everything's personal. It sucks for the commentators because they kind of have to pick a side, but no matter, it's either you're on my team or I'm trying to kill you. And not literally, but, I'm trying to beat you. Whether that's your family, you're not on my team, then I don't care about you. In these instances and in these moments.
Thank you.
Justin in the back, way back here. You were quoted this week as saying that you felt like you've been fighting too safe. And that's a word that most people would not attach to your name and your fighting style. So it speaks a little bit to your mindset as a fighter and a competitor. What do you do to get your mind ready, and how's that evolved for you over the course of your career?
My mind is always ready to do what I love. I love going, Tuesday and Friday are sparring days, favorite days of the week. The intensity that this brings. But I don't have to do anything. I have to understand that the danger is there. I think once you understand the danger is there and it's real, then I think my body specifically goes to a very special place. I don't get to retain any information from these fights because it's completely intuitive and instinctive, and I've trained my body and my mind to go and do what I need to do in those situations.
Hi, guys.
Good. Well, Rafael, in the front right here. Right here. It's obviously, it's been a while since we last saw you. The last time we saw you in a fight, you got hurt, and then it's been the last several months. I feel like you've been calling for fights, asking why people aren't calling you out, but now you have an opportunity to rematch Justin Gaethje. So I guess how's the last week been since not having a fight to now getting to rematch Justin on such a big card?
Oh, all this time I waiting the fights, waiting some call-outs, and I see nobody. So I make my decision. I have to look my weight. I have to check my weight every day, watch my weight, and stay in shape maximum how I can. And I believe maybe I go to short notice because nobody fight.
Did the UFC give you a reason why they weren't giving you a fight, or were they just waiting for the right name to approach them?
UFC, Joe? Honestly, no. No, I don't hear nothing from them. I'm just waiting and something from them all of this time. Yeah. I'm just saying to my manager hey, if you have some message from UFC, don't ask me. I say yes for you, for everybody. Top 15, top 10, not rankings, debut guy or somebody. Just don't ask me. Say yes, I'm ready for. I just wanna go fight.
And I'm sure you've seen the interview of Justin said the fight against you and the fight against Michael Chandler, maybe he had a safer approach to fighting, and he said that wasn't the right decision. A lot of fans are expecting him to be the old chaotic Justin Gaethje in there. So I'm curious, what type of Justin are you expecting on Saturday?
Doesn't matter. I like Justin who go forward, who make the house in a octagon. I like that, and I wait that from the first fight. But I'm going to the war, but he going to the win, and yeah, if he go like that, is make me more happy. More yeah. I'm just you telling me now, and oh wow, now I'm more excited.
Dan Hooker predicted that when he had this fight that the winner, or he said the winner and loser are probably both going to the hospital. Obviously, now you're filling in for Dan. So are you expecting the same thing? Both you and Justin are probably in for a hospital visit after this fight.
Maybe. But hospital here, last time I go, this hospital is so crazy. We just staying in queue how many? 4 hours, and we don't do anything. We go, I tell hey, I don't want to stay here anymore. We go home, So I don't want to go hospital this time. But it's true words. It's true words. When people like me and Justin going to the octagon, we always, from the octagon, have to go to some pharmacy.
Last one for me. Justin also said that, Islam is looking for new names, and if he beats you, maybe he could get a title shot like when Dustin beat Benoit, he got to fight Islam. Mm-hmm. Are you viewing that too? If you beat Justin, maybe you get slotted into a number one contender fight and possibly fighting for the title next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good one. It's good, yeah. Of course, Islam, he almost fight everybody already in the top 5. So some new guys, it's going to be good.
Rafael, this is one of the longer layoffs of your career. Are you worried about ring rust at all?
Sometimes yes. Sometimes I'm thinking I very miss that. And sometimes when we very miss for something, and when we try it first time, after a long time, it's going to be good. Yeah. Maybe not easy, but always gonna be good. For me, it's I very miss for that, very, very. And I know myself. Every time when I'm not trained long time, and first day I come back to training, I'm do very nice training, and I feeling good, and I'm really enjoyed. So and this time I believe it's going the same. I'm really enjoyed, and with good energy. I miss that so much.
Were you ever offered a rematch against Gamrot?
Yeah. They give me a rematch against Gamrot. The match February 1st in Saudi Arabia, and I say yes, let's go. But after everything changed, they say me like, sure, you fight February 1st against Gamrot. So I'm say yes, let's go. And like after a few days or 1 week, I see he start to call out some Paddy Pimblett or somebody, and I think, oh my God, what happened? Like how it's happened? Like we have fight. So I'm ready. Before.
Do you find it kind of funny that technically he has the win over you, but you got this fight over Gamrot?
Oh, this is a justice, I think, because he not gonna fight me on February 1st. Yeah, and I'm taking this chance now.
Рафаэль, здравствуйте. Саят, здравствуйте. Скажи, пожалуйста, считаешь ли ты себя самым опасным соперником для Ислама Махачева в легком весе? Если да, то почему?
Я считаю себя опасным соперником для любого. И не только для ислама. Я считаю себя опасным для любого, кто напротив меня стоит. Я иногда думаю, что если я с собой буду драться, как я буду драться? Ой-ой-ой. Потому что я знаю себя. Я всегда буду вперед идти. Меня сломать будет очень-очень-очень сложно в бою. И я знаю, что я вперед до конца буду идти, драться и искать ключи для победы.
И еще вопрос от меня. Сейчас месяц Рамадан. Как справляешься с нагрузками, гонять вес? Получается ли все, или это дополнительные сложности создает?
Ну, это мой первый бой в месяц Рамадан. Я, конечно, всегда делал все для того, чтобы подраться либо до, либо после Рамадана. Потому что для меня намного важнее в этот месяц оставаться близким к Богу и делать то, что я должен делать в своей религии. Но иногда бывает такое, что мы не можем отказаться, потому что это такой... Все-таки эти бои, они как бы требуют быть готовым иногда драться в любое время. Поэтому я сейчас не пощусь, потому что я нахожусь в пути, я далеко от дома, я не могу даже поститься, потому что мне и вес гонять надо, все дела вот эти. Вот, поэтому после неделю я пропущу, но потом я это все восполню, и на следующий же день после боя я планирую поститься, поэтому вот так вот.
Спасибо за ответ, удачи.
Спасибо.
Rafael over here. Obviously, you're coming off the bad injury against Gamrot in September of 2023. I know you just mentioned you missing being inside the cage during this long time, but are there any things in your mentality that maybe changed during this long layoff, or just anything you reflected on during this long layoff that changed your perspective on something?
Что там поменялось? Change, что? Против Гамрута? Против Гейджа? Oh yeah, I think I'm learned from first fight. Like I don't have to follow emotions. No, have to follow your character. Sometimes have to forget about your character and stay cold. Yeah, and follow game plan.
Awesome. And obviously your opponent, he's coming off a war and a knockout loss against Max last year. Given how that fight went, do you see him being any more vulnerable to anything you throw his way, or do you think we'll see just the same version of him every time he steps in?
I don't think it's changed him. It's tough, yeah. It's hard. I think it's very hard to come back after knockout like he have. But he do it all his life. I think he sit in a home, think about that, forget about that, and come back to camp and training and come back to fights.
Awesome. And last one for me, obviously, the fans have seen you throw out some unique call-outs at times, even talking to Hasbulla after your fight. Do you think we'll see any of that this weekend if it goes your way, or is that all behind you now?
Yeah, this week I'm still gonna thinking. I'm still thinking what I do after this fight. For sure I'm prepare something funny, something you like, guys.
Rafael, back here to your left. taking the fight on short notice, having a limited window for preparation, how much time were you able to allocate to actually putting together a game plan for Justin?
After first fight, I'm always think like what happened on this fight, why it's going like that, and I know why and what. So not big deal to change some to build some game plan, because I already have good game plan against him, and this time I just have to follow that.
So you're expecting a pretty similar encounter with him?
Yeah, like Justin say, he wanna make house. He wanna come back for old Justin. Yeah, well, who know? Man, that's T-Mobile Arena, many people, and when I saying like, oh, I have to fight like cold brain, cold blood, like follow game plan. When I say that, I'm thinking like, Rafa, you sure that to do that? This is like this is what you can do. Maybe you again go forward and making the war in the octagon. So hard to say.
Is there an advantage for yourself to taking a camp or taking a fight with no camp?
I think all this week I'm thinking about that. Normally, when I'm come to fight week after long camp, after hard camp, I'm tired. I just want to fight and I want to finish all of that and go rest. But now I now have all this. I now have all camp and I'm not tired. I'm just come fresh. I just have to make weight, and yeah, this time I now have this feeling like, oh, I want to finish that and go home. I'm tired like from all of this, because long camp. But this time I'm like, ooh, now, so good energy.
Thank you.
Rafa, when you look back at that first fight with Justin, do you think more it was the strategy you went in with, or was it more the decisions you make when you're actually in the middle of the fight in the cage?
It's my decision. It's my decision on during in a fight, because, like I said, I follow my emotions. I hear the arena. I hear how people screaming when we have some action, and I hear my corners. They're saying like, "Hey, move, step back. No need to go forward much." And but I thinking inside, I thinking like, "No, man, like, no, guys, look, like the arena is going crazy. Let's." It's a bonus, and I want arena screaming more. So that's what I think on the fight.
Thank you.
Привет, Рафаэль. Первый вопрос. Сколько стадий в своей голове ты прошел, когда получил звонок от UFC и решил для себя, что да, я хочу подраться с Гейджи за 1,5 недели до боя?
Да, я не решал ничего, мне только сказали, о, конечно, давай, я сразу запишу себя, я дам свое имя, и я даже ничего не думал, никаких стадий не было. Я сразу захотел это, и такой шанс против такого бойца, как Джастин, это мечта, я думаю, для любого бойца. Поэтому я когда это услышал только, я сразу свое имя дал. Я, конечно, не верил в то, что он согласится, потому что он меня один раз уже выиграл, для чего ему со мной еще раз драться, еще один шанс. Да. Но я не раздумывал, я думал, да, я дам свое имя, я не верю в то, он согласится, но если он согласится, когда он согласился, когда мне сказали, что все, пакуй вещи, ты едешь в Америку, я так счастлив был, я так радовался. Да, и до сих пор радуюсь. Когда я его увидел здесь, его тренера первый раз, вот вчера, я ему руку подошел, пожал, говорю, эй, мэн, говорю, спасибо, у меня сегодня день рождения. И я говорю, за подарок на день рождения спасибо, я считаю это подарком на день рождения, то, что подраться с тобой еще раз, для меня это как подарок.
С днем рождения, кстати, надеюсь, лучший подарок ты себе сделаешь в субботу вечером. Но, тем не менее, смотри, ты на 10-дневном уведомлении выходишь, ты летел через полмира сюда, в Вегас, и тем не менее ты считаешься фаворитом у букмекеров. Тебя удивляет такой расклад?
Да, меня это удивляет. Меня это и в первый раз удивляло, когда я был фаворитом. Меня всегда удивляет, когда меня фаворитом ставят. Да, мне, наверное, больше по душе, когда я underdog, когда там люди не верят в меня. Но обычно выходит так, что вокруг меня люди верят очень много в меня. Поэтому это хорошо. Наверное, я просто неплохой боец.
Смотри, ты отсутствовал больше года, за это время в дивизионе много что поменялось. Считаешь ли ты, что у тебя шанс прям с 2 ног ворваться в титульную гонку?
Думаю, да, потому что победа над таким бойцом, она и он топ-3, да, это большое заявление, это много дорог откроются после этого, поэтому да, конечно же.
Тебя тут спрашивали про Ислама Махачева, но если в случае победы тебя решат свести в в претендентском бое с Арманом Царукяном, как ты к этому отнесешься и согласишься ли ты на такой бой?
Ну, мы об этом уже разговаривали, как бы. Мы об этом уже разговаривали, я об этом думал. Да, в претендентский бой, я думаю, да.
Ты говорил, что в бою Майкана и Махачева болел за Рената. Можешь расшифровать эти слова? И видел ли ты хоть какие-то шансы у Рената на победу?
Ну, не совсем болел, но мне как бы я не за обоих их не болел. Да, поэтому не совсем болел. Но я просто хотел, знаешь, чтобы посмотреть больше раундов. Ну, что-то наподобие боя против Дастина Порье. Ну, чтобы просто больше посмотреть чемпиона в деле. Потому что чемпион есть чемпион. Да, он там выигрывает всех в первом раунде, но хочется посмотреть его дольше, хочется посмотреть, чтобы кто-то его понапрягал, да. Вот, а этого не случилось.
Еще один про Джастина. Последний его бой завершился с Максом зарубой на последних секундах. Если бой дойдет до последних 10 секунд последнего раунда, ты готов будешь показать на центр октагона и также замахаться с ним?
Почему нет? Почему нет? Если все будет идти так, как шло, и так, как шло в нашем первом бою, если у нас будет такая заруба, и почему бы нет, это круто, люди любят это. Если люди любят, то и я это еще больше люблю.
И последний от меня. Сейчас Илья Топурия заходит в лайтвейт, и ты не думал о том, чтобы провести бой с ним? Потому что стилистически, мне кажется, вы вдвоем могли бы устроить хорошее шоу.
Это хорошо для этого веса. Этот вес самый опасный вес. Наш вес самый опасный вес, самый конкурентный вес. Весь мир находится около 70 килограмм мужчины, поэтому у нас большая конкуренция, и у нас реально там, на кого ни посмотри, все опасные ребята. Топ-15 все мощные ребята, а за топ-15 там еще тоже мощные ребята сидят. Поэтому еще одна звезда в этом весе, это очень хорошо для нас. Вот. А насчет боя против него, то я думаю, что когда два ударника встречаются хорошего уровня, это всегда интересно. Вот.
Спасибо большое, удачи в бою.
Спасибо.